The last time this waterway closed, the entire world ran out of fuel in 11 days. Today, it is closed again. And this time, nobody knows how to open it. Every factory, every flight, every grocery store on Earth depends on 21 miles of water. Iran controls those 21 miles. And right now, Iran is not negotiating. This is the story of the most dangerous waterway in human history, and Iran's ultimate weapon. The Strait of Hormuz connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. At its narrowest point, it is only 21 miles wide, a bottleneck for the entire planet. 20% of the world's entire oil supply passes through here every single day. Japan gets 80% of its oil through this strait. South Korea, 70%. Europe, 30%. If the strait closes, for even 1 week, factories shut down. Flights get canceled. Food becomes scarce. This is not just a waterway. This is the jugular vein of the global economy. 3,000 years ago, the Persian Empire understood something the modern world forgot. Control the strait. Control the trade. Control the world. Ancient merchants from Mesopotamia, India, and Arabia all passed through these same waters. The Greeks called it the Persian Sea. The Romans feared it. The Arabs mastered it. For centuries, the strait was the richest trade route on Earth. Silk, spices, gold, all flowed through here. In 1507, everything changed. Portuguese warships appeared on the horizon. Afonso de Albuquerque seized Hormuz Island. For the first time, a European power controlled this waterway. Portugal built the Fort of Our Lady of the Conception here, a fortress to control all trade passing through. For over a century, no ship could pass without Portuguese permission and Portuguese taxation. Then came the British Empire. By the 1800s, Britain had replaced Portugal as the dominant power here. Britain signed treaties with the Trucial States, today's UAE, creating what they called the Trucial Coast. For 150 years, Britain policed these waters. The strait was British, by treaty and by cannon. Then in 1908, oil was discovered in Persia, and the strait became the most important place on Earth. Britain, America, and Russia all began competing furiously for control of Persian oil. By World War II, Persian Gulf oil was powering Allied tanks, ships, and aircraft. The strait had transformed from a trade route into a lifeline of modern warfare. January 1979, the Shah of Iran fled his country. Ayatollah Khomeini returned from exile. The Islamic Revolution overthrew a monarchy backed by America and Britain for 30 years. Iran and America went from close allies to bitter enemies, almost overnight. For the first time, an anti-Western government sat directly beside the world's most critical waterway. Washington panicked. The Carter Doctrine was declared. Any attack on the Gulf was an attack on America. In September 1980, Iraq invaded Iran. The bloodiest war of the 20th century had begun. Both sides soon began attacking oil tankers in the Gulf. Over 500 ships were hit. The world watched in horror as the strait became a war zone. Oil prices spiked across the globe. Kuwait asked America for help, protecting its tankers. The U.S. Navy entered the Gulf in force. Operation Earnest Will. American warships escorted Kuwaiti tankers through the combat zone. In 1988, a U.S. Navy ship mistakenly shot down an Iranian civilian aircraft. 290 people died. The incident remains one of the most painful chapters in U.S.-Iran relations to this day. The tanker war ended, but it had proven something terrifying. The strait could be turned into a weapon. August 1990, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. America launched the largest military operation since Vietnam. After the Gulf War, America decided it would never leave. The U.S. Fifth Fleet made Bahrain its permanent home. For the first time in history, a non-regional superpower had permanent military control of the Gulf. Iran watched this with deep alarm. American warships now sat permanently at their doorstep. In the early 2000s, the world learned Iran was secretly developing a nuclear program. America and Europe imposed crippling economic sanctions. Iran's currency collapsed. Its people suffered. Iran responded with a threat that sent shockwaves through global markets. Closed the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices jumped 5% in a single day. Just from the words spoken at a press conference. The 2015 nuclear deal briefly eased tensions. Sanctions were lifted. Trade resumed. Then in 2018, America withdrew from the deal. Sanctions returned, and tensions exploded again. Starting in 2019, Iran began seizing foreign oil tankers in the strait. British tanker, Stena Impero. Swedish tanker, Greek vessels. One by one, they were captured. Insurance rates for ships crossing the strait tripled. Some shipping companies stopped sending vessels entirely. Iran was showing the world, we do not need to close the strait entirely. Fear alone is enough. Meanwhile, mysterious explosions began damaging tankers in the Gulf of Oman. Nobody claimed responsibility. American, British, and Israeli intelligence all pointed toward Iran. Tehran denied everything. January 3, 2020. An American drone strike killed Iran's most powerful military commander. General Qasem Soleimani was gone. Iran vowed to take revenge. For 48 hours, the world believed a full war was about to begin. Iran launched missiles at American bases in Iraq. 13 soldiers were injured. War was narrowly avoided. The strait never closed. But the world had seen how close to the edge everyone was willing to go. February 28, 2026, America and Israel launched coordinated airstrikes on Iran, Operation Epic Fury. Within hours, Iran made the announcement the world had feared for 50 years. The strait was closed. Every civilian tanker was ordered out. Mines were reportedly laid in the shipping lanes. Oil prices reached $126 per barrel within 72 hours. Japan declared an emergency. South Korea suspended manufacturing. European fuel prices doubled overnight. 95% of normal shipping traffic had disappeared. The world's oil arteries had gone silent. China and India were the only nations still receiving limited access, with Iranian permission. Iran's parliament speaker declared the strait would never return to its pre-war status. The United States Fifth Fleet repositioned. Aircraft carriers circled outside the blocked entrance. Global shipping companies began rerouting around Africa. The Cape of Good Hope route adds 20 days. That means higher shipping costs, which means higher prices for everything you buy. Airlines began canceling routes as jet fuel costs made many flights unprofitable. Industries that depend on petrochemicals, plastics, fertilizers, pharmaceuticals began reporting shortages. The International Monetary Fund warned of a global recession if the closure lasted more than 90 days. Saudi Arabia has a pipeline, the Petra Line, that bypasses the strait entirely. Maximum capacity, 5 million barrels per day. But the world needs 20 million. The UAE also has a pipeline to Fujairah on the Indian Ocean. But again, capacity is nowhere near enough. Strategic oil reserves exist. America has the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Europe has national reserves. But experts estimate those reserves would last 90 days, at most. After that, an unprecedented crisis. Military experts say opening the strait by force would be one of the most complex operations in naval history. Iran has thousands of anti-ship missiles hidden in mountain positions along its coastline. Fast attack speedboats, submarines, and naval mines make the strait a deadly environment for any navy. Even the most powerful navy on Earth would suffer serious losses attempting to force this passage. The cost of forcing it open militarily could be greater than the cost of keeping it closed. Around the world, diplomats began working around the clock to find a solution. China, holding enormous economic leverage with Iran, emerged as a potential mediator. Qatar, which hosts both American military bases and close Iranian ties, offered to broker talks. Russia offered its own mediation, seeing an opportunity to expand its influence in any peace deal. But Iran's conditions were steep: an end to sanctions, withdrawal of American forces, and recognition of its regional role. Japan imports 83% of its energy. Without the strait, its economy could collapse within months. South Korea's semiconductor factories, which power the world's electronics, need uninterrupted energy. India, with its booming economy of 1.4 billion people, was already feeling severe fuel shortages. Pakistan, already facing economic challenges, saw fuel prices rise by 40% in 2 weeks. Even China, despite its special access, was receiving only a fraction of its normal oil supply. Iran has threatened to close the strait at least 12 times in the past 40 years. Each time, global markets panicked. Each time, the threat was not carried out. Until now. Analysts had called it the boy who cried wolf. Iran was saving this weapon for a moment of true desperation. That moment has now arrived, and the world is learning. The wolf was real all along. The Strait of Hormuz crisis is not just about oil. It is about who controls the rules of the world. For 70 years, America has guaranteed the free flow of global trade. That guarantee is now being tested. China sees an opportunity. Russia sees an opportunity. The post-World War II order is fracturing. The country that solves the Hormuz crisis will gain enormous diplomatic leverage for decades to come. Meanwhile, the push for renewable energy has never received more political support. Every leader in Europe and Asia is now asking, why are we still dependent on oil from one tiny strait? Scenario 1. Diplomacy succeeds. A ceasefire is brokered. The strait reopens. Within 3 months, oil prices fall, markets recover. The world breathes again, but the underlying tensions remain. Scenario 2. The closure lasts 6 months or more. A global recession begins. Political instability spreads. Nations begin hoarding resources. Trade wars emerge. The globalized world starts to fragment. Scenario 3. Military escalation. A naval confrontation in the strait draws in multiple superpowers. This is the scenario every government on Earth is working desperately to prevent. As the world accelerates its transition to renewable energy, the Strait's power will eventually diminish. Electric vehicles, solar power, and hydrogen energy are making the world less dependent on Gulf oil. But that transition will take decades. For now, the Strait of Hormuz remains the world's most critical choke point. 3,000 years of history have proven one thing: whoever controls these 21 miles controls the world. The Strait of Hormuz is 21 miles wide, but its shadow falls across the entire world. Ancient empires fought for it. Colonial powers seized it. Superpowers now circle it. And right now, as the world holds its breath, one question echoes across every capital on Earth. Who will control the Strait of Hormuz? And what will they demand for opening it again? If this documentary opened your eyes, subscribe and hit the bell. History is happening right now.